I want to just get right into this. The number one mistake that I see course creators make, we're going to talk about it today. And here's what it is. It is that you have created this beautiful course. You've edited it. You've made it just perfect. It's beautiful aesthetically. You've totally crushed it. And you go to launch it and it sells zero. You have no audience to launch it to. Is this familiar to any of you? Don't feel bad if you're like, oh my gosh, this is totally me. I had this beautiful course and it was all perfect and I had it edited and all ready to launch and I launched it to crickets. If this is you, you are not alone. Okay, I just want to encourage you, you're not alone, but today we're going to get into, I'm going to kind of walk you through how to not let that happen to you. Okay, or maybe you've got kind of a course on your mind and you're thinking, gosh, I really want to create this thing, but I don't even know where to start. I'm going to talk about that too. If we have not met yet, it is Mindy Baxen here. I am an online social seller. I'm a Christian mentor and coach. I specifically help Christian women building business online get really clear in their messaging and marketing so they can be more confident in their selling and close more sales. I've been at this now for, online social selling for 6 years. I've been a coach for the last it's been just a little over a year, launched a group coaching program myself. And so that is a little bit about me. And again, a common mistake that I've seen with some of the women that I've coached, actually many of them, that they've built these courses, you guys, and they've launched and they didn't realize they need to have an audience to really launch it to, or that really wasn't top of mind, I should say. So I am here. Hi, Cindy. Good to see you, Cindy Anderson. I see you, my friend. I'm here to really get into this conversation and help walk you through the steps, okay? Because I don't want this to happen to you. I've actually come up with a, what do you call it? I've kind of named this the course before the horse strategy. Like you got the course done, but the horse is dead. Is this ringing a bell to anybody? And maybe you're finding this video for the first time and thinking like, oh my goodness, I was going to start creating a course, but what is she talking about? Like lean in, let's have a conversation. And I'm excited to really give you again, the steps that I coach people on so they don't make the same mistake. And if you've already done this, you guys, and you've launched the course, or you've created the course or you've launched the course, know that I think you've got one of the hardest parts done. Okay. I've got the horse. I don't have the course yet. I'm still working on it. But the course to me has been the biggest challenge. Anyways, let's get it. Oh, thumbs down, Facebook. Really? Is that what we're going to do today? Anyways, let's get into this conversation. Most people think, and tell me if this is you, most people think that if I just build it, this course is great. It's so filled with so much great value and great information. I know that I'll sell the heck out of it. Have you guys ever thought of that before? But the reality of it is, your course does not sell itself. An audience has to buy it. And I know that sounds like common sense, but again, with over 1,500 coaching calls I've taken, a lot of these women don't realize, oh my goodness, I need to be really intentional with the audience that I'm creating. Okay, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself on that. Anyways, if you are watching live, by the way, would you just say hello in the comments? Or again, if you're catching this on the replay, drop a little hashtag after party in the comments so I can thank you for stopping by. It means a lot that you swing by here and you tune in. So every Monday, 11 a.m. Central Time, I am live right here on Facebook. It's going to be repurposed to YouTube. So if you're watching this from YouTube, hello YouTube. Good to see you guys here. Anyway, I want you to imagine this for a minute. Think if you opened a restaurant. Like, let's just take a minute and think about if you opened a restaurant in the middle of nowhere, okay? And you've got the best food ever. Hi, Karen, good to see you. You've got the best food. Like, the food is absolutely 5-star, best in the world food. But you've not told anyone about the restaurant you're opening. You just opened the doors one day. Hi, Rachel, good to see you. Do you think you're going to be selling much? Like, again, that's the analogy I think that makes the most sense when you think about creating a course on social media. And if you've not been intentional with your messaging and your marketing, you're going to totally miss the boat. Okay? So let's get into my top tips on how to avoid this from happening. And again, if you've already created the course and maybe you've already launched it, now is the time to get really intentional with the content you're creating. So we need to build an audience. Drop the word audience in the comments if you're with me. We need to build an audience and create content that attracts our ideal buyer. And understand this, you guys, the buying habits on social media have changed. They've changed a lot. The know, like, and trust factor is imperative. It's imperative if you want to really sell product online. People have got to learn who you are, to know you, to like you, to trust you. Now, I will say this. When it comes to just a quick, like, you guys, how many of you sometimes do a click and buy? Click and buys typically happen just on product, right? I'm like, I bought one of those Lange hair, what are those things called? It's like a blow dryer thing all in one. It kind of like gives you like a blowout, right? I clicked and bought that because I was like, ooh, that's great. I think I need that. When it comes to courses and you are delivering, modules and maybe there's a workbook that goes along with it and so forth, there needs to be the know, like, and trust factor. That has to happen. They've got to get to know you, like you, trust you, that you are going to be a good solution to their problem. So you want to start creating. So here's tip number one. You want to start creating content that teaches, that inspires, and that builds authority on the course topic. Like, again, let me say this. If you are creating a course and you are not intentional with the content you're creating, okay, to attract these people to you, I'm trying to think of a recent example that I've had on a coaching call. I coach so many people. What typically happens is that they are not intentional with their content really at all. They're just focused on, again, creating a really great course. They know a lot of really great information, but oftentimes what I coach them and tell them is to say, get into the head of your buyer. What are their pain points? What are they most challenged with? Where do they get hung up? Your course then becomes the solution. And I'm totally getting ahead of myself right now, but I can't stop. I just can't stop. I have all my notes in order and I'm going off. You've got to get into the head of your buyer, and I want you to start creating content that speaks to them. Okay? That, again, identifies some of the problems that they might not already realize, they don't realize that they have. Point out the fact, again, you guys, just from my perspective here, let me just give you a perfect example that is totally what I do. Okay. Group coaching. So my group coaching program that I have, it speaks to, or rather the problem that it solves. There's community, there's accountability, there's action that happens in there. And as entrepreneurs, a lot of times this journey feels alone. Because we are alone. It's like we're in our own offices here with nobody to really talk to or help us or whatever. So when I start creating content, I talk to those pain points and say, boy, it is a lonely road sometimes, isn't it? Being an entrepreneur. We walk through that our spouses don't understand what we do. We're kind of lost on the journey sometimes. We get frustrated and bang our heads against our desk, like trying to think of, what we need to do next. This is why I've created a community of Christian women where we build belief in business together, and we meet every week for accountability. We meet every week so you can get the answers to your questions. We meet every week to come together, to brainstorm, to pray over our businesses. Like, that's what we do. The point in me saying all of that is, number one, here's a tip for you all. Going live, sharing about what you do is really important in who you help. I just did that for you. But again, and number two being talking about the problems and your course, your offer being the solution, it's huge. Sharing about it in your stories. Facts tell, stories sell, right? And when I love to connect with people in my stories. That's a great place to build the know, like, and trust factor. I'm curious, you guys, let me know in the comments, how many of you go into your stories and create stories every day? Drop me in the comments if that's you. Stories is a beautiful place that I think is sometimes underutilized, and I can't encourage you enough to, it's a behind the scenes. It's like people get a little peek behind the curtain in your life. And it's a beautiful way to build the know, like, and trust factor. Something else that's underutilized by yours truly, because I don't know why. I could make excuses all day long. But Reels. And tell me in the comments too, how many of you do Reels? Drop Reels in the comments if you create like a Reel a week, a Reel a day. Maybe you're like some of my friends, you guys batch create like 10 Reels in one day. I don't know. I admire you. I aspire to be you. I am not you. Anyway, but Reels is really important too to start building your audience. Why? Let me tell you from a social media perspective. Reels is getting you out in front of your cold market. And guys, there's 3 types of traffic. I'm going to go off on another training here. Just let's take a field trip. There are 3 types of traffic that you need to consider when you are creating content. I actually do have this video, I think, on my YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, attract, nurture, sell, or something like that is what it's called. There are 3 types of markets that you need to consider. Your cold market. These are new eyeballs. These people don't even know you really exist. Guess how you can get out in front of them? Hi, Angel. With Reels. So if you're like, I have no leads for anything, I've got this course, but I don't even know. Like, create some Reels, identifying the problems, providing the solution, encouraging your audience, becoming the authority and the expert. I'm telling you what, Reels is where it's at right now. Okay, so we're going live, we're talking in our stories, we're doing Reels, creating, again, specific content where your course is going to be the solution. Now, do you sell every time? No. But you start stoking the fire, identifying the problems, encouraging these women, and then you can sell, right? Deposit, 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 give the value, and then withdraw. Okay, tip number 2. Are you guys digging this? Smash the heart button if this is helpful so far. So number 1 was, again, we're creating content that attracts our ideal buyer. We're getting really intentional. And I keep pointing to my brain because sometimes I think on social media, you guys don't realize, some of you, that social media can be your biggest marketing tool and we don't pay anything for it. Well, I pay $14 to be verified or whatever, but that's because profiles get hacked. And so there's a fun fact. Always make sure that you see my little blue star or check mark or whatever it is. That's really me. But anyway, so tip number 1, create content that attracts your ideal buyer. Tip number 2, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about building offline too. Now, there's 2 schools of thoughts on this, and as I was working up this training, I was like, yes, you can build a community, like a Facebook community that gets, you to be able to engage with your audience all the more. But warning, Facebook communities are no joke. There is some heavy lifting that has to happen in a Facebook community. You need to be consistently posting. You need to be consistently engaging. Like, there needs to be a level of consistency. And I know that there's different trainers that train on building Facebook communities. I am not one of them. I would much rather, here's an alternative way to do this. You can build a free guide. This is what I do. This is what I coach people to do as well. When you have a course that maybe you're starting to build it right now, my biggest encouragement to you is to build a free guide, a free resource, a free quiz, something that can serve 2 purposes. 1, the first purpose is it can, again, attract your ideal audience to you. For example, my free guide, it's Master Your Morning, Transform Your Day. If you guys want that, you can go to the link in my bio, wherever it's at, and you can grab it, okay? But that is attracting my ideal audience to me. Again, if you're an entrepreneur, you guys, and I'm sharing this in 2 ways. I'm sharing this because, yes, there's value here, but I also want you guys to get an example of how I operate and how I share this free guide. So creating a free guide for Christian women building business online, how you can master your morning and the importance of mastering your morning. It truly transforms your day. And I just walk you through it step by step. Oh, I love it. I love it, Michelle. Thank you. Okay. So creating a free guide, what that does is it gives you free value. It actually gives me more content to create because once I've got my free guide, now I'm starting to create content because I want to point people back to the free guide. But then also, it's taking you guys offline. So you are now on my email list. Do you guys remember the time when Facebook and Instagram, Meta just went down? We've built our audiences. We've put in so much time, energy, and effort to creating these relationships and connections. If you do not have a freebie or a free guide or a free quiz or some way to collect someone's email by giving them free value, you are You are taking a big risk. I want you to think about that. So again, I don't want you to rely on one platform, specifically just on social media. I really want you to think about being able to take them offline at some point. And the best way that I can tell you how to do that is to create the free guide. I know am I fire hosing you guys? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Drop a yes in the comments if you are. And number 3 is this, number 3 tip is this, and this is, let me just say this, guys, I am very much like you all, okay? I feel the same feelings the way you do on some things, and this is one of them, okay? It's gonna seem weird, but there's truth behind it. You wanna sell before you create. Yeah, how many of you does that make your toes curl and you're like, wait, what? But it needs to be done and it needs to be perfect and the workbook needs to match the graphics on the thing and right? Like we get into all the aesthetics of all of it and how it needs to be completely done and completely perfect and you totally crushed. Sell before you create, and pre-selling your course is a huge tip. It's a huge tip. Hi, Nanette, good to see you, my friend. So here's the thing. And this is so contrary to, like, this is an irritation to me as well. I'm a recovering perfectionist and I battle it on the daily, my friends, I do. But selling it before you've created it is a really big tip, and here's why. You can go through all the creation, all of the work, spend all of the money, make it so beautifully perfect, even have maybe some of the audience to sell to. But if you have that done, and your audience comes in, what I can also see happening is, yeah, you've touched on these points that you think is really important, but they're saying, what about all these? Like, I was hoping I could figure this, and this out. And you're like, gosh, I never even thought to cover any of that, right? And so launching or pre-selling something before it's done, huge strategy, because again, until you get into the mind of your buyers, which doing just this accomplishes that, you think you know what they want. And until you start working with them, that's where you find out. Hi, Carla. Good to see you. Hi, Shelly. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? And I know it is so contrary to our perfect deliveries of all the things we do. And I'm of the mindset too, you guys, like we want to do everything with excellence. Yes, we do. But again, creating that course or pre-selling it before it's done, I think there's a huge advantage to doing that. And I was going to do that right now. I have something for you guys. It's something I've been working on for a while. It's just a little mini offer. And it's not done. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. You guys are witnessing this live. I created something called the Clear, Create, and Close method, where we get clear on who you're talking to. We create content, right, that speaks to those people, and then I help you with the closing conversations. If that is something that would be beneficial to you guys, just drop 3 C's in the comments. CCC. Clear, create, close. That's the method I've been working on for quite a while now, and so I'm going to take my own advice. So drop triple C's in the comments if that would be helpful for you to walk through it with me to help you get, again, clear on your messaging and marketing, create content that converts, and having those closing conversations. There, I did it live. Okay, so anyway, gosh, I hope that this has been helpful for you all. I know it's been helpful for me too, just kind of talking and walking through it. But just to kind of recap again the strategies, let me tell you, we want to create content that attracts our ideal buyer to our course. We want to build community, and whether that be a Facebook community, again, set your expectations with that. I also recommend, if you're building a Facebook community, you know what? Find a power partner to do it with. Or maybe have a VA and have kind of a strategy behind that, because that can get heavy. Or my preferred method is to create a free guide and starting to build that offline connection as well, and then pre-sell the course like I just did. I didn't pre-sell it, but you know what I'm saying, before it's done. So there. I hope that this was helpful. If it was helpful, drop a little hashtag value in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, depending on the platform where you're at. I know it's all different. But anyways, I will see you back here again live next week, Monday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, for another episode of Mondays with Mindo. So have an amazing, blessed week, my friends. We'll see you next time.